As I told you from the onset, when people are involved in the decision-making process within the organization, yes, they will buy into it, they will own it, they will drive it, and they will commit to it. The reason why perhaps your employees are not committed to the goals that you set for them is that they weren't involved in it. It is your goal and not our goal. Let us make it our goal and not your goal. It is very important we talk about that. Lack of influence over performance target. Well, the targets that were sent, he wasn't involved because he wasn't involved in the goal setting in terms of the time. He doesn't control the time. Let me tell you, one of the things that I've realized in Ghana is that, well, for most of the jobs, people can do it in the comfort of their homes without having to travel to the office. I agree that some roles are such that, well, you should be in the office. But the challenge that we have is that, well, because the person doesn't have control over the time, for some individuals, their most productive times tend to be at dawn. Example is myself. I am much productive at dawn. So when I wake up at dawn, from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, 3 hours, the sort of work I can do within that period, you can spend the whole month, you won't match me. You won't, no. Because that is my most productive, the report I produce during that period, that is. And that is, thank God, I'm in a profession that I control my time. Because you see, if it is such that I have to come to the office, because I have to come to the office, I am losing out on my productive time. The work is supposed to be done in the office, yes. But the time that, well, I'm very much productive, the office setting is saying that sleep. That can be a major cause of stress because the person comes to work, and because that is not within his time that, well, he's much more active. He's that dull and it stresses him. Lack of control over the time to perform the task. Then, the low participation in decision making, we've mentioned that, and the lack of control over workload. He's not involved, it is always pushed down his throat. Well, work relationships, Dr. Lomote mentioned, as part of the major causes of stress within organization. You see, let me tell you, when we talk about an organization, it is not the building that makes an organization. It is the individuals who work in that make an organization. Because when we talk about an organization, scholars define organization as when 2 or more people come together to pursue a common agenda on a relative basis, then you have an organization. So it is not the architectural edifice that makes the organization. It is the people who work within that make the organization. Yet, we treat work as something else. Take note, working adults, we spend majority of our working lives within that environment that you call work. Meanwhile, what is the sort of relationship that exists there? Majority of the time that you are awake, you spend it within that work setting. So perhaps, well, you are commuting 2 hours to work, 2 hours from work. You go there, you work 8 hours. Add it to it, it is 12 hours. Deduct it from 24 hours. You are left with 12. Health specialists will tell you are supposed to sleep for 8 hours. So it means that it is about just 4 hours that you are awake, that you spend in that house that you are corruptly making money to build. Your work environment should be made that's comfortable. We should make the way, because that is where we spend majority of our lives. So if where we spend majority of our lives, there's always infighting, backbiting, and so forth and so on, coming to work itself becomes stressful. It is not enjoyable. Workplace relationship, if we need to do everything to foster workplace relationship, we should do it. It is important. Because that is where we spend most of our lives. However, interpersonal relationship at the workplace, something else. When the person becomes a manager, he turns into a monster. And some funny things that are here. So the manager gets to the office, good morning, you are working with human beings for heaven's sake. You are working with human beings for heaven's sake. Your interpersonal relationship with them would endear them to the work, and it will cause them to come to work happily and contribute meaningfully to work. If you take the interest of your subordinates and your employees into consideration, they will also take your interest into consideration. An example will help you understand this better. I was running a training program somewhere, and I made mention of this same statement. And one young man shared his experience. He was like, he's worked in an organization for 17 years. The turning point in his life was when the CEO mentioned him by his name. It's a big organization. He said, one morning, Doc, I bumped into my CEO at the entrance, and then my CEO greeted me. Francis, how are you doing? How are the kids doing? Is everything okay? Yes. Oh, how's your wife? Oh, good. Francis, keep up the good work. Keep up the good work you are doing for this organization. Take good care and have a nice day. And he said that was the turning point in his life. He went about singing this song. He knows my name. He knows my name. For a simple reason that if the CEO of an organization knows you by your name, then you're a member in particular. In the organization, how do you call your subordinate? Hey, hi, ho, Jimmy Fo. These are the callings you give to them. Wouldn't that cause them stress? Do you think they'll be happy enough to work for you? You are killing them, and you are also providing the money for them to cater for their health. Simple things, interpersonal relationship at the workplace. We do not do it. In our organizations, we work in silos, isolated, each individual concentrating on his own work, not thinking about the others. We're not providing support for each other. That is crazy enough. We are killing the zeal and enthusiasm of our employees. If you show concern for the people who work under you, they are forever yours. I have 2 national service guys working under me, graduate research assistant, graduate teaching assistants working under me. In the morning, we sit down together to break bread. I buy the bread, we are there, everybody, we break. So when we break, sometimes when I break, it's, oh, Master, I say, Charlie, me buy the bread. Then we all laugh it up, Charlie, you know if you break the way you break, oh, be me buy, make a break first. These are young guys. When I completed my degree, they had not even started school. But I sit down with them. As younger brothers, we eat together, we share knowledge, Master. And when I have projects to undertake, they are committed to it. If they have to go to the office on Sunday, I don't tell them, or they go to do it themselves. I don't have to tell them. I don't tell them. They are so much committed. If they have to leave late, which is not frequent, they would stay late to finish it. Why? Because they enjoy the work environment. Interpersonal relationship. Let us look at that. It is very, very important workplace relationship. Bosses think that when we act aggressively, when we coerce our employees, that is where we get results from them. It is never true. So some bosses will say that, hey, and you are happy, boasting in that they are afraid of you. You are not a serious boss. Because why should they be afraid of you? Why should they? Even your kids in the house who are younger are not afraid of you. So why should elderly people be afraid? They should respect you, but not to be afraid of you. We are here to work together, and that is what we should be seeking to do. Putting fear in them does not. You are causing them unnecessary stress, which is affecting productivity within the organization. He mentioned the issues of harassment within the organization, issues of bullying within the organization, violence within the organization. The manager finding faults. Every day he has something to, he's never commended you. Always finding faults. For heaven's sake, Let us know how to communicate individuals' mistake. We are what we call the sandwich approach. You start with the positive, then you bring in the negative, then you conclude with positive. But you are always finding fault and always never seen anything good in that young man. Yet you have not sacked him, he's still there. Does that make you a good manager? If you want to communicate individuals' fault, we should be very careful. We call it sandwich. You start with the positive. Kwame, well, over the period, we've seen some good things in you. Well, you've done so well, now keep it up. However, this is what we found lately, and we want to draw your attention to it. We believe that, well, once you are able to do this, you'll be fine, and your progress in the organization, you will enjoy everything. Then the guy moves away without thinking that he's always being criticized. He feels valued in the organization, and that is what we should be looking at. We don't talk about these things in the organization. Managers also taking credit for initiatives coming from subordinates is also another. If you are a manager and your subordinates shared an idea with you, please feel free to attribute it to him, because it bolsters his confidence, it bolsters morale, and it creates job satisfaction and commitment. It is very important. Never think that that subordinate is taking your glory if you attribute it to him. Not at all. For a simple reason that as a manager, one of your responsibilities is to identify skills and utilize the skills in your department. So the question is, who identified that young man? Who is using that young man? It makes you a good manager. But please, don't take his ideas to be your own and take glory for what? That would get them to be sick and be mad. It is not a good practice. Well, poor relationship with colleagues in the organization and lack of social support within the organization. You are a manager. The subordinate comes and he's moody, or he has a plaster somewhere around his eyes. Well, it is not your concern. You don't show concern. You don't provide that social support. It is not about you doling out money to them. But you see, when they come and you show that social support, it makes that work environment a place they would always want to come to. In your case, what do? You drive them away. It is a problem. The lack of social support will not get individuals to open up, to share their problems and so forth and so on. Because, well, within the organization, yes, we are there to work, but we should provide social support to each other. It is very, very important. Job security, as he mentioned, Dr. Lomote mentioned the lack of security. Once the person is not clear as to his stay in the organization, it always causes them stress. You have employed a temporary worker, 2 years, 4 years, still temporary, casual. And the thing that sets an employee, because he doesn't know. He said, so going to work, he's always thinking, and it is at the back of his mind, he can't focus on the work. That has been found to be a major cause of incidents and accidents at the workplace. If you want the individual to be committed, definitely show. If the person feels that I'm very much secured, I'm a part of this organization, the organization will sink or it will sail with me. The commitment is there to do much more for the organization. Lack of job security. Many a times when organizations are going through redundancy, we forget that the people who will not be affected or who are not affected by the redundancy exercise also go through stress. You don't know. So you will be careful to organize training for those who are leaving, but those who are staying, you don't, because you don't know what the person is going through. Having witnessed my colleague being asked to go, I am not stable at all. It can be me as well. What assurance do you give these people who have not been affected? We just leave them like that because, well, you are the privileged few. I think you've done well. They are not privileged. They are going through a lot. So the lack of security, if they feel that they don't, have job security, they fear that they could be sacked at any point in time, then that also, in a way, compounds their stress levels. Especially so, you have introduced a new software, yet you have not trained them on the use of the software. It could be because, well, I'm not secured. This is a ploy to get me out of the organization. That is why they have not given me the needed training. That could compound the stress levels of people. Let us take note as well. Work-life balance. Work-life balance. Let us have the understanding that, well, indeed, issues that happen at the workplace, in a way, flow through the family as well. And issues that happen at home also flow through work as well. As managers, as employers within organization, our inability to manage this work-life balance has been found to be a major cause of stress. You are constantly insisting that, well, workers report to work at a particular point in time. That is perfect. But I beg you, let me ask, if you have a young lady who has given birth, 3 months, you say the lady should come to work. Yes, she will come to work. At dawn, this lady has been breastfeeding throughout the dawn. Oh. And it's a boy, and the boys also like the bobo. So the boys take the bobo, and now the lady wakes up 4 a.m. because he has to get to work 7:30. Try to express bobo milk, and there's nothing coming. She's already frustrated. Hurriedly trying to get to the office. She sits in the car, goes to dump the 3-month-old baby at a place they call crèche. Now today, 3-month-old babies go to school. What sort of work-life balance are we providing for our employees? If it is a right opportunity, I will commend organizations like Unilever, Data Bank, and others that have crèches in-house, where you don't have to think about where to go and leave your child, but you bring them to work, there's a place to keep them, they have nannies to take care of them. That in itself is a step in the right direction in helping, because the stresses or the stress that, well, nursing mothers go through in organization, I mean, and most importantly, we are not deriving anything from them. Every 30 minutes she's in the washroom calling the nanny. I don't know what to say. Hey, also here, also then, you know, she can't focus, she can't concentrate. Yet, this is how we treat them within a work organization. It is important that, well, we should help in balancing work and family life, so that, well, you see, when the individual is happy from home, it translates in his performance on the work. When the individual is sad from home, it will also affect performance in a negative manner. It is important that, well, we look at that as well, because these things have been found to affect employees. Employees working at unsocial hours. Well, occasionally, yes, we need to present annual reports so we can stay up till 11 and so forth and so on. But where it becomes a constant feature, 11, 12 midnight, when the person has kids to raise, the person leaves their house 5 a.m., gets back 12 midnight, who is raising his kids for him? And that is the problem, and that is what causes him stress. He's always receiving complaints from school. Your child is that, your child is that. Who is, and that is causing him stress. It is because his work does not allow him to balance his family life. Yet we are not concerned. Your employees are traumatized with these things, and we need to give it due recognition. Resource. In organization, what is much more painful is when employees are ready, committed to work, and there is lack of resource. It's a major cause of stress. I am ready, energized, inspired, and I want to. I I come and the resources that I need to work, it is not there. I don't have it. Perhaps he's not instructed. Perhaps he's not informed, just like Dr. Lomote talked about. I would share an experience. I live here in Tema, drove all the way because a report needed to go by close of business. I had finished with the report. I needed to just scan through to send it as early as I could. So drove early in the morning. By 6 I was in the office, ready to send the report. Only got there to realize that the internet was down. How would you feel? That is the problem. So stressed. I was working with one of my young guys. He finished preparing the report. Just as he was about to click send, Dumso, pa. The guy cried the whole day. I said, Pastor, why are you crying? No, dog. I finished. I'm saying, son. I said, don't cry, don't cry. Yes, it could be a major cause of stress. So, you are provided computers. But well, the stabilizers, what they need to, should they be light off to, in a way, keep the content for some 20 to 15 to 20 minutes, it is not there. It is not there. So, when the light goes off, everything goes off. They go to ask, and the response that they get is that, well, but there is no vacancy. Who tells you that vacancy should be a prerequisite for promotion? Who says so? That if there is no vacancy, you can't promote. Says who? So, the guy is there 15 years, 20 years in the organization, very much demoralized and very stressed because he doesn't see any career progression ahead of him. It is a problem. Who says so? That has brought about wickedness in today's organization. Because in today's organization, you have a 30-year-old guy as the CEO. When is he going to die for the vacancy to be created? So you have to eliminate him. That is the problem that we have. It is important that we understand that these things, as we are talking about, in organizations you have scheme of service, you have job grade structure, and take note, we promote into grades. We don't necessarily promote into roles. We promote into, so when you are promoted, your job should not necessarily change. You could be doing the same job, still promoted, because promotion is a psychological tool that, in a way, is important that once we don't do that, the individual is not getting his benefits, he's not getting his entitlement within the organization, it is a major, cause of stress. There's no career development in the organization, no career progression in the organization. That has been found also to be a major cause of stress among individuals. It is important that we also take note that the issue of stress is not just coming from employers, also customers, clients. But you see, it all comes with the notion that, in Ghana we have some saying that the customer is always right. How can the customer be always right? How can the customer be always right? The customer cannot be always right. So we have empowered customers so much that, they abuse our staff. If we have bankers here, sometimes I walk into the banking hall and I can see a young man insulting Teller 2. Not because Teller 2 has done anything, but for a simple reason that the network is down and that she cannot do anything. Then the customer is insulted. So when Teller 2 goes back home, she's pondering over this. Yeah, Jumaye Bekumio. Stress within the organization has been found to be a major cause of illness amongst employees. Some diseases such as, or some cardiovascular disease have been heart-related disease have been attributed to stresses within the organization. Ulcers have been related to stress within the organization. He mentioned the issue about the environment and the noise level. Well, NHIL, that is noise-induced hearing loss, emanates from noise stress. When it comes to visual impairment, it has also, as a result of poor illumination within the work environment. All of these things, these stress conditions, affect the individual. Indeed, when it comes to incidents and accidents within the organization, stress has been found to be the major cause, because once the individual gets stressed, he loses it. And when it comes to accidents in the organization, once you lose focus a split second, well, you are going to get yourself involved in one accident or one incident. So at the individual level, yes, strange diseases, the individual becomes frustrated, anxious. He mentioned all of these things. At the organizational level, yes, it translates into huge cost, because there are always conflict. The organization is always meeting, resolving conflict in the organization. Well, cost in terms of sicknesses. For time management, learn how to manage your time. Learn how to manage your time. Individuals, especially so. In our country, Ghana, we do not know how to manage time. We don't know how to manage time.